Once upon a time in the jungle, there lived a porcupine. Now, porcupines, as we all know, have sharp spines on their bodies. They were headed to a nearby lake for a swim. "Hey, you lazy porcupine," said one of the snakes. "Why don't you come and swim with us?" The porcupine just rolled over and closed his eyes, pretending to be asleep. "Don't you want to have some fun?" asked another snake. And so they just stayed away from each other. The end. We're going to play a game of tag. You can join us if you like, but the porcupine just kept pretending to be asleep. They can use these spines for protection from predators or for digging through the undergrowth in search of food. But this particular porcupine was lazy and he didn't like to move around much. He would spend his days lounging in his den, barely moving an inch. One day, a group of snakes slithered past his den. The snakes were confused. They couldn't understand why the porcupine didn't want to play with them. So they decided to go swimming without him. As they disappeared into the lake, the porcupine opened his eyes and smiled. He knew that those snakes were up to no good, and he was glad that they had gone swimming. You see, the porcupine had heard some rumors about these snakes. Apparently, they weren't just ordinary snakes. They were venomous snakes. After all, he thought, there's no point in being lazy if you're going to be in pain. And so the porcupine spent the rest of the day enjoying the peace and quiet of his den. He was too lazy to go looking for food, but he wasn't hungry anyway. Instead, he took a nap, then woke up again and watched the sunset. And the laziest thing about them was not that they were slow-moving, but that their bites were incredibly painful. He wished that he had some company, but he knew that none of his friends would be brave enough to visit him on such a dark and stormy night. So the porcupine just lay there and dreamed of a time when the sun would come back out and the snakes would go back to being lazy too. The porcupine had seen what they could do to other animals, and he knew that he would be in big trouble if he let them anywhere near him. So the porcupine stayed in his den, too lazy to even get up and close the door behind him. As the night wore on, he started to feel a little bored. And that's the end of the story. The porcupine and the snakes were both too lazy to do anything about the fact that they were both very uncomfortable around each other.